More and more slow starts. Is this the same old Carolina? What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? My name is Nathan. I am one half of your Hill brothers. And our North Carolina Tar Heels have started off 5-0 this early basketball season, but it hasn't been the most pretty thing in the world. North Carolina, in each of their games, even their exhibition games, have had an issue starting relatively slow in these games. And this is something that we've noticed under Hubert Davis, especially last year. It was a big time conversation last year. Obviously, I think a lot more was to that with the roster construction, things of that nature. But the questions are now starting to arise. Is Carolina the same old Carolina? Yes, in the portal, Hubert Davis did a great job, in my opinion. On paper, coming into it, I thought he did an amazing job, and we're seeing that all the talent levels, the Kyan Evans, and bringing in the Lucas of the world and the Henrys of the world and Jaren Stevensons and things of that nature, bringing them in to the program was huge for North Carolina, man. I felt like he really, dumped a bad roster, quite frankly, or a roster of good pieces that just didn't fit together, and then redid it with a team that seemingly gels very well together. But what's going on in the slow starts? Why is North Carolina having issues in the first half of games getting into it? What is happening that is causing this? Well, I got a couple things I want to run to you. But first, I want to tell you guys about a giveaway that we're doing for Christmas for you guys. Our sponsor, KBAR Soap, has been an amazing sponsor for us. And we are doing a giveaway with him, Chris of KBAR Soap. This is the graphic right here. If you go to Instagram, you're going to see this post right here. To enter in our giveaway, you're going to hit the like button on that post and then go follow KBAR Soap. And we're going to be drawing a winner for this giveaway December 1st. So the question is, what do you get? All the stuff you see on that graphic, you get to pick. You get a tactical stocking that has a little Velcro patch there that you're going to be able to put your brand new patch on, which is the bottom left there, the Grenade Boomer patch. I actually have one myself. Love it to death. You're going to get 2 bars of soap. That's going to be the scent of your choosing. These are all natural, non-chemical, no nonsense type of soap. You get that stuff. It's all natural stuff made by a former Marine. And you're also going to get a hand-carved cedar wooden soap dish there that you see right there in the center. You're going to get a koozie over there like you see on the far right as well, made of the same material as the stocking. And then you're also going to get a frag bag, which is basically a loofah that you can put your soap in there. And also when your soap gets almost to where it's almost done and over with, when it crumbles up, it's going to be able to catch all those pieces for that way they're not going all over the place and you got to pick them up and all that stuff. You just dump that frag bag out, boom, pop your new one in, and then you're ready to rock. Be sure and go do that. We really want to see you guys go out for KBAR Soap, man. He's a really cool dude, former Marine, and you really want to get on that giveaway. Hope to see you guys there. So North Carolina is coming into this season. The slow starts are happening, and what's crazy is you see a slow start each game, and probably the one that was the worst was this past game against Navy. This is a team in Navy, yes, picked to be first in the Patriot League, which is not a bad league, but North Carolina should have handled Navy a lot better than what we thought. The spread coming into the game was 24.5. I said 17-20, ended up by 12, and it was by 12 pushing out late. It was a single-digit ball game multiple times throughout the game, and it felt like Carolina never really had a true pulse in that game. But as a team in the first half, outside of Caleb Wilson is just a guy, he's just going to go get his. It's just what he does. Caleb is an absolute flipping animal, and we're seeing this game in and game out, where he's just getting after it, getting after guys. He's scoring, and he's generating offense. But it feels like this team kind of lacks that edge, if you will, as a team that Caleb Wilson has as a person. Caleb Wilson comes out, and especially in the Kansas game, I go to that game a lot because the whole team kind of came out a little lackadaisical, but Caleb just came out and is just aggressive from the get-go. Carolina's turning the ball over a lot in the first half and not a lot in the second half. We're seeing this, which is, it's good second half ball, really good. I think we'd say across the board, Carolina's playing really good second half ball. But first halves, especially against good teams, and you got some good teams coming up. You got a Michigan State that just destroyed Kentucky, and then after Michigan State, you go to Kentucky. And then you got ACC play not too far along after that. So what's going on? Why is this happening? What is Carolina doing? Is this Hubert Davis? Is it same old Hubert Davis? Well, I think it's a combination of a few different things. And one of the biggest, most glaring things, number one, is you've got an injury on your team. You've got Seth Trimble out. You've got a lot of guys on your roster that are going to be back next year. You've got a young guy like Kyan Evans who's coming over from Colorado State. Yes, he was really, really good in the back half of the Colorado State year last year. He was just absolutely lighting it up. But he's still getting used to being the point guard for this North Carolina team. They don't have their leading point guard, their leader, and Seth. They don't have him right now. And even when they did, the two were still trying to learn to play together. And that's what I think is the biggest issue here. This North Carolina team is still learning to play with each other. Again, this is a complete roster flip. This is complete top to bottom. It was complete outside of 3 players. If I'm thinking off the top of my head correctly, yeah, 3. I think 3 players on this team came back from last season, and one of them, James Brown, not really playing a ton, still trying to figure out who he is, trying to figure out rotation. And Seth Trimble, of course, and Zayden High comes back as well after being gone for a year and things of that nature. And I may be missing one off the top of my head. Maybe I'm not. Outside of, your biscuit boys is what I like to call them. But Carolina is a young team that is trying to figure out how they play together. And you have an injury to one of your most pivotal pieces early in the year. Now, I ultimately think, and I've stated this on multiple different videos, that Carolina, the guard position specifically, like Derek and Kyan and Luka to a degree, with Seth being out, you are going to be able to have it be a better team coming out of it, because you get the guards, they have no excuse. They have to step up. They have to fill that void, and it just gets them more reps. It gets them more comfortable, gets them out there playing more. And that means when Seth comes back, if they're already playing really well, you just add Seth back in to that monster. And that's something, to me, I think is going to be really cool. But Hubert Davis is also trying to figure out rotations. What rotations work? What rotations don't work? What rotations, maybe could I go to in a clutch? What guys are going? Do I need to ride the hot hand? Is that something that we're going to be doing a lot of this year, which seems like there could be a possibility, because Jonathan Powell can get off. Luka can clearly go off. Guys like Jaden Young can come in and hit you some spark threes at times. And what does that look like? And Hubert's just trying to figure this thing out. I think North Carolina's going to be perfectly fine. I think Hubert's on the right track. I think he's got this team going. I think we're seeing it in the second half. The Navy game, to me, and I said this in our post-game reaction, and I hope I'm right on this, because if I'm wrong, then boy, it's not going to be good. We're going to be having this conversation again very soon. But Carolina felt like kind of sleptwalked through that game a little bit, like they came into it a little lackadaisical, and that's something that needs to be addressed. Evidently, there's been a players-only meeting after the game to Navy, so we'll see how they do when they come up against St. Bonaventure next week. I'll be excited to see how they respond, but I think this North Carolina team is going to be perfectly fine, man. I think that what's happening here is, number one, the team's trying to figure out how to play with each other. We're in games now. You're not in scrimmages anymore. You're in the games now. And sometimes it clicks. Sometimes it still takes a little bit to kind of figure out how this thing works, especially when you're getting, when you have different teams coming at you all the time. And a lot of new teams, some teams that have some continuity, some teams that don't have some continuity. And I think Carolina's trying to figure that out. And when this team figures out, like, hey, who's got the hot hand tonight? Let's roll with that. Or what's our strengths? What's our weaknesses? Especially when they get into a game and they're able to fill it out a little bit and then just in the second half go crazy. That is the team understanding who they are night in and night out. And once they get that down to a baseline, I think they're going to be perfectly fine. I like this team a lot. I think this team's going to be really good. Caleb Wilson is a flipping animal. Henry is playing out of his mind right now. He's playing great. Luka's starting to get going a little bit. Kyan struggled against Navy. We'll see how that goes. I think they're going to be perfectly fine personally, but we'll see how this thing goes. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. I want to know, do you believe the slow starts are coming just by some continuity issues, or do you think there's something bigger here? Is there something that I missed? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure and go get into that KBAR soap giveaway. It's free. Don't you guys want to get a hold of that stuff just in time for Christmas? It's awesome. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels.